Hi everyone and welcome to a new episode of Jay's Podcast along with a new video. I want to thank you guys so much for liking, subscribing, viewing, watching, and listening. I truly appreciate it. We are going to definitely be making more Patreon and Spotify episodes exclusively. I have been making sure that we have more than enough to talk about in the next months to come. So, as far as what we're going to talk about today, we are going to be continuing on with free content. So, this episode is about Rated R by Rihanna. So let's get into it. Rated R is the fourth studio album by Barbadian singer Rihanna. It was released on November 20th, 2009 by Def Jam Recordings and SRP Records. Recording sessions for the album began in March 2009 and took place at recording studios throughout the United States and Europe. Rihanna was the executive producer of the album alongside Antonio L.A. Reid and the Carter administration. So the Carter administration, I believe, is its own imprint. I'm not sure. It features additional production by various record producers, including Chase and Status, Stargate, The Dream, Neo, and Brian Kennedy. The record features several vocalists and instrumentalists, including Young Jeezy, will.i.am, Justin Timberlake, and Slash, who played the guitars in Rockstar 101. Again, I want to make this very clear as far as like going into like deep dives on more personal things, as far as whether it's artists or just things in general. That's going to be all exclusive on Patreon and Spotify alike. We keep our free content very much drama free, unbiased, and to the point. Like, I want to be able to talk about an artist and not worry about why they, the drama. Like, I don't know. Like, the music is very much important. And they would want us to listen to the music and not worry about they problems. Musically, the album represents a departure from her previous effort, Good Girl Gone Bad, 2007, which contained up-tempo and ballad-oriented songs. Rated R is a rock-influenced pop, hip-hop, and R&B album. It features a foreboding, not sure, and atmospheric tone in terms of musical and lyrical direction, and it incorporates elements of dubstep. It also explores other genres such as dancehall and rude boy, and Latin infusion in Te Amo. Rated R received positive reviews from music critics, who commended Rihanna's mature performance and called the album her most layered and heartfelt effort. The album debuted at number 4 on the US Billboard 200 chart and sold 181,000 copies in its first week. It also attained top 10 positions in over 12 other countries. So this is album 4, and like I told you guys in previous videos, that there are times that artists do not always go straight to number 1, whether it's their songs or their albums, but we love the music as a whole, or we love the artist as a whole. So I know that there's times that people get discouraged, like, what do you mean the song didn't have as many sales back then, or didn't chart as high, or stayed on the chart? It's like, well, yeah, at the time, what were you doing? You wasn't online all the time or buying the song, I know I wasn't, I was learning to be, but the album produced 6 singles: Russian Roulette, Wait Your Turn, Hard, Rude Boy, Rockstar 101, and Te Amo. Russian Roulette was released as the album's lead single and managed to reach top 10 in over 25 countries. Hard became her 13th US top 10 single, while Rude Boy topped the US Billboard Hot 100 chart for 5 consecutive weeks. So Rude Boy went number 1, okay? Te Amo attained top 10 positions around Europe and reached number 1 in Brazil. To further promote the album, Rihanna embarked on her 3rd worldwide concert tour, Last Girl on Earth, 2010 to 2011. Rated R is deemed as an important album in Rihanna's career and a groundwork inspiration for her follow-up releases. So Russian Roulette was released October 26, 2009. And I remember that. Like, I remember the song being released and then the video, and people were like, oh my God, like, she's back. We know what happened in the winter time, starting of 2009. So, she's back and talking about take a breath and take it deep. Okay, like, what's good? Like, what's going on? Like, Hard, released November 10th, 2009. So literally right before the album comes out, you have Hard, which is, up tempo, and it's a good song too. Track 3, Wait Your Turn, November 13th, 2009. Rude Boy, February 5th, 2010. And then Rockstar 101, May 18th, 2010. And then Te Amo, May 28th, 2010. So I was 16 by the time all these singles came out. And, for me, I was like, oh my God, like she is really not going nowhere. Like we have, more than 30 to 40 songs from her now. Like, she's really here. And, I enjoyed the album. But, there was so much going on. Rihanna's previous album, Good Girl Gone Bad 2007, was a commercial success and received generally positive reviews from most music critics. The album featured 5 top 10 singles, 3 US #1 songs, including the international breakthrough single Umbrella. Following the assault of Rihanna's boyfriend Chris Brown on her in February 2009, there was much speculation as to whether any song featured on the upcoming album would be about him. So I said this for a reason, and we're going to continue to go towards the track list, because pretty much there was collaborations that were starting to be more forefronted going towards Loud. Rated R was something she was able to kind of put together and say, here you go, and now I'm about to have my hair red and we're about to have some fun again, and we'll talk about Loud. But as far as just, this era and this time, it was very vulnerable. It was very much, in February 2010, Rihanna expressed a positive opinion on the album, but commented that her future work would be less intense. She asserted, I really like the grime of it, but if I were to combine that with more energetic, up-tempo pop records, then I think that would be a happy marriage, and that's where we'll probably go next. So she was pretty much saying that, from Rated R, it wasn't going to be as gritty and as like, but we've seen implements of Rated R still in her later albums, even if it is a bit more light. But yeah, let's see here. Working with different collaborators, and actually doing features with people for their albums over time, which wasn't a bad thing either. As far as with Eminem, which we know about that. As far as with yes, she worked with Drake, and as far as with Chris Brown, of course, she worked with him later on Unapologetic, which you guys can go and check out, because he already talked about that. So again, there's a lot that was unpacked with this album. Fashion, the final image from the photo shoot for the album was made by German fashion photographer Ellen von Unwerth, who has also shot other album covers such as The Velvet Rope by Janet Jackson, Back to Basics by Christina Aguilera, and Blackout by Britney Spears. Said that Rihanna was fantastic to work with, very giving, very creative, very involved in every aspect of the shoot, and ready to push the boundaries. And that would make sense. And this album was also in black and white, and no one talks about that either. She had 2 black and white albums. Like, she was really, one, the previous black and white album, was, her saying, listen, I'm having fun, but I need y'all to really get into just the music. Now this is like, all right, y'all had fun with me, now you guys can have even more fun with me, but there's things I need to talk about and get off my chest, okay? And why not? But yeah, let's get into the track list here. Well, you know what? Received positive reviews from music critics. 75 out of 100 based on 21 reviews. So yeah, there was a higher score with this album, of course, compared to Good Girl Gone Bad. AllMusic's Andy Kellman gave the album 4 out of 5 stars and said that Rated R is exaggerated but compelling and performed convincingly by Rihanna, who sings many memorable, belligerent lines. I feel as though I wouldn't say it's not completely. I wouldn't think it's exaggerated. I think that she really, like, you gotta think of the way that she brings the album in. Like, she brings the album in. We're hearing her walking. Ladies and gentlemen, like, wait is over. And listen, let me get to the track list. But yeah, it definitely debuted at number 4, selling 181,000 copies, giving Rihanna her highest first week sales at that time. So yes, this definitely peaked into more U.S. top. Well, it topped the U.S. top R&B hip hop albums chart and became her first number 1 on the chart. Okay, um, yeah. Rihanna is Rated R is deemed a pivotal record in Rihanna's career as it was released 9 months after the domestic violence case with Chris Brown. Um, we, like I said, I thought it was about a year or so, but then I think of the reissue, so it's like, all right, there's more songs along with that. So technically, 2007 to 2009, you guys know that's about over a year. But considering the reissue, um, yes. In 2019, 10 years after the album release, Chuck Arnold of Billboard described the record as a coming-of-age manifesto and also Rihanna's version of Jackson's Control. According to him, Rihanna is her... sorry, I keep saying Rihanna for the album. See, Rated R is her declaration of independence from Brown and her taking charge of a narrative that had turned her into a victim. Similarly, Jordan Simon compared it to Jackson's The Velvet Rope and described it as a dark portrait of a black woman's journey to self-healing. I'm not gonna hold you. Whether it's by their 8th or 9th album, well, whichever album they come in with, as far as at that time, whether they had already a few or just starting. Sometimes people already start off with a Velvet Rope album, like, all right, well, this is where I've been kind of starting off, and I've been going through some things. I think that SZA with SOS and Lana, that may be her Velvet Rope album. Like, she's happy, but she's really like yearning and wanting peace and clarity on a lot of things. Like, I thought Control was like that, but no. And they worked together. So, and get into that. Get into SOS Lana Deluxe. I actually talked about that, so you guys can actually look at that because I talked about the album itself along with the bonus track. So 2 in 1. So track 1 is Madhouse. Yeah, again. And then, she's bringing us in. Like, it's very like, yeah, what's gonna happen? Track 2, Wait Your Turn. Track 3, Hard featuring Jeezy. Track 4, Stupid in Love. Track 5, Rockstar 101 featuring Slash. So by track 5, there's no skips, at least for me. Like, I'm kind of listening through, like, okay, yes, Track 6, Russian Roulette. Track 7, Firebomb. Firebomb doesn't get enough love. Track 8, Rude Boy. Track 9, Photographs featuring will.i.am. Now, Photographs doesn't get enough love. Yeah, I remember that song. It's a good song. Track 10, Gangsta for Life, even though it's G4L, like literally G, the number 4, and then L. But yep, that's the song. I love that song. Track 11, Te Amo. Track 12, Cold Case Love. Now, Cold Case Love, now that I'm reading, I didn't know that Justin Timberlake was a part of this song. That hits, the sake of what was going on at that time for her. And, I think that we, as the public, was really taking in this song along with all the other songs, was just like, wow, like, we didn't know she had so much to give. And I think that's why a lot of times people don't always have, like, we want to hear music and we want to listen to music, but those are 2 different things, and that's a lot of times misunderstood. You can listen to a song and understand. You can hear a song and know that the song is actually a thing. There you go. But track 13, the last song, that's a nice ballad too. So Nokia edition bonus tracks, track 14 Russian Roulette, Donnie Hartwheel remix, and then track 15 Hole in My Head. Um, but yes, the album did fairly well. It did really well, and she did go on tour. And soon after, she had red hair, and there was a sense of her that was marketing a bit more and doing more fashion and being out more. And I think that's where Loud was really captivated at this point, where it was just like, I need to be making happier songs, despite even ballads that I would still want to be able to make. Like, I need to be making happier songs now. So we'll definitely talk about Loud, like I said. But I want to thank you guys so much for listening and watching. I truly appreciate it, and I'll be back with more.